You can find yourself stressed out. You can find yourself depressed, mentally fragile because of the experiences, the turbulence that you have gone through.
Look up. Look up and recognize that there is a way out. There is a path for you to take. And it's not an easy path. It takes courage and it's hard. But what is the other choice? What else can we do? Let the darkness completely consume us, be overtaken by temptation and vice, and you can triumph over these dark forces. You can become better. You can be better.
And maybe you've been knocked down in your life and it seems like, hey, the fight is over. It is not over unless you quit.
You take those terrible events in your life and you create a new story of triumph.
And so here's what I say to you. There are going to be times that you're going to be wondering, why should I keep showing up and work for my business? Why should I keep at it? Why should I keep showing up to the conventions? Why should I keep picking up the phones and making the phone calls? Why should I keep fighting for my goals and fighting for my dreams? And what I want to remind you is that you got to show up for your life regardless of the circumstances. You got to show up in spite of the naysayers. You got to show up in spite of the conversation going on in your mind. You got to show up for your life, because if you don't, nobody else will. Fight your way through this battle. Your greatness comes from within. And once you realize that, nothing will stop you. Nothing will keep you from being great. It's already there. You just have to feel it and know that you were placed here for a reason. Fight your way through it. Fight your way through this battle. Fight your way through that academic struggle. Fight your way through divorce. Fight your way through boxing. Fight your way through football. If it was easy, everybody would do it. You got this far. If you was going to quit, you should have quit a long time ago. You got too far. You've come too far to quit now. You need to get a reward for it. You have to see it. You have to feel it. You have to know that this life was made for many battles, and you were made just for a time like this. The first level to success in life, listen to me, the very first level is you seeing it like it's clear to you. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly when you want it. You know exactly what it tastes like. You know what it looks like. You know what it smells like. Before you really blow up, and you get success, you literally have it in the palm of your hand without having it. You got to know what it looks like, tastes like, feel like, because you don't, you're going to compromise. Winners complain. Winners want to hear themselves talk. Champions do not complain. Why? Because they're focusing on what they said they wanted to do as a goal. You're not putting energy. You're not commanding your gift. You're not commanding your opportunity. You're not commanding your resources. You're not commanding your dreams and goals. You look at them jokers once every 3 months, if that. You better be looking at them jokers every day. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. I need us to look at all the possibilities, all of the potential, and I need us to go for it every single day. Monday grind, Tuesday grind, Wednesday grind, Thursday grind, Friday grind, Saturday grind, Sunday grind. Every opportunity that exists, I need you to go after it. If you want to be successful, if you want to dominate in the area, you got to let everything go with that thing you're pursuing. You can't chase 2 rabbits and catch both of them. So you put your attention on one and go after it. Champions are focused on the goal. They don't have time to be doing stuff that's not going to help them toward the goal. And so what you're focusing on throughout the course of the day, it has to change. What you're looking at, what you're reading, what you're watching, the conversations you have. You must now be focused on your dreams. You must be focused on your goals.
We have to stop making excuses. We have to stop letting into distractions. We have to stop getting unfocused. Everyone wants to win, but few want to prepare. Few want to put in the work that it truly takes. Few want to really love the process. Most of us are just addicted and obsessed with the result and what we want. But really, the magic is in the being and the process. The magic is in the day-to-day. The magic is in the work. The magic is in the practice. The magic is in the moment when we become the winner before we even won.
We have 2 voices in our mind. There's that one voice that we love to hear. It's that soft motherfucker that says, sleep the fuck in. It's okay. Well, there's another motherfucking voice that wakes you up in the middle of the night. It's that demon voice that whispers in your fucking ear that says, get up, motherfucker. You're not good enough. You gotta work harder. You haven't put enough time in. It's that voice you want to run away from. It's that voice you don't want to hear. But guess what? It's that voice you need to listen to.
People put out goals, dreams, and aspirations and what they want to accomplish, but you very rarely hear people say what they're willing to sacrifice in order to make it happen. They'll tell you the goal, the dream, the aspiration. They'll tell you they want to be elite. They'll tell you they want to be great, but they're not going to say, I'm going to stop going out on Friday night. They're not going to say, I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to stay late.
You're not getting up when you're supposed to get up. You procrastinate, but you let you slide.
You gotta stop telling yourself that you're doing enough. You have to do more. In life, it's never enough until you feel this overwhelming feeling of, man, I'm out working the crowd. I'm out working everybody. I'm doing more. Once you get there, that's when you know you've done enough. You gotta do your best work and you're at least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, you gotta second the up and do it. A true dog mentality is not enough to make it to the NFL. Get an MVP. It's not enough to win a 5K. Win a 10K. It's not enough to become a doctor. Be a better doctor. It's not enough to know stick the ground. Go out there and do something with it. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you run 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters.
So just when you felt like you did that last rep and your muscles are saying, I can't do no more reps, you said, yeah, you got to do one more. Because right now, while you quitting, you might be doing 5 more. While you quitting and giving up, while you saying, all right, I did enough, it's time to rest, you might just be getting in his hole.
There's always someone out there better harder than you. I'm haunted by that motherfucker. Knowing that someone out there is willing to forgo personal desires for comforts, forgo sleep, forgo whatever it takes to be better, to be the best. We'll always have that person out there. There may not be a name or a face to him, but he exists. You make sure in life when think about that person, you make sure they put a name and face to it. You make sure the name and face is yours. You do the haunting. Get in somebody's head. Own space.
If you're not willing to do it every single day, you're not going to be the man that's doing it every single day. I'm not the best, but they have not outworked me. I'm not the best. I'm a beast. And oftentimes when you're going up against other beasts, sometimes they just want it more than you want it. They're not more talented than you. They just know what they're out there for. You got to find something within, and that's got to push you, and that's got to drive you. And when you find your why, you find a way to make it happen.
And all times when you want to quit, you make sure you know all those times, hours, and days you sacrifice to be the best.
You know, sometimes you get that feeling in life that things aren't going my way. You hear people say that. Things aren't going my way right now. Listen, things just don't go your way. That's not the way the world works. You gotta make them go your way. You think things are gonna just happen for you? Well, they're not just gonna happen for you. You gotta make them happen. Go make things happen. Do what you need to do to get up. To make yourself get up and get going. And I know you just want to get 5 more minutes of sleep, just 5 more minutes. And I'm telling you, no. Rise up and aggressively move forward down the path. Get yourself in the game. Shut down all those pathetic excuses and get after it. I don't care how you're feeling, and neither should you. It's actually not that complicated. Are you going to work out today? Yes or no? Are you going to eat the donut? Yes or no? Are you going to win? Yes or no? Don't allow for any gray area in there. Get rid of the debate. Make the binary code decision. Yes or no? And you know the right decision to make. So go and make it.
If you're not consistently congruent, and if you're not consistently contributing each day, then of course you're not going to be happy with yourself. It's that lack of daily consistency that ends up hurting our own self-esteem. Because listen, everyone can show up good or happy or joyous or nice or kind or give once in a while. But those who do it on a consistent basis because they demand that of themselves every day, those are the ones who achieve true confidence, true self-esteem, a true life of greatness.
Even if you're nervous, you gotta do it anyway. Even if you're the first one in your family, you gotta do it anyway. You gotta just do it anyway. Why? Because the people that are living on purpose, the people at the top, they don't make excuses, they make a way. Like, you just gotta do that. Like, with some people, it's like, if I'm not being encouraged, I can't make... No, even if you're not being encouraged, do it anyway. Even if you're not being validated, do it anyway. Like, can you just be faithful in the small things? Can you be consistent? Can you be persistent? Can you be faithful in the dark?
Say it with me and say it like you mean it. I am determined, come hell or high water, to win. From this day forth, all I do is win. Start it, make up in your mind that you're going to finish it. And if you could get to a point in your life where you finish everything you start, you are going to be miles ahead of everybody else. I don't care how difficult it is, I need you to finish. I don't care how you feel, I need you to finish. I don't care if you feel defeated, finish anyway.
Get yourself on the path to health, the path to happiness, the path to success, the path to freedom. And that path is the path of discipline. It is the way of discipline. Get on it and get after it.
Everybody wants to prize, but nobody loves the process. Everybody wants to be a champion, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to be a champion. Everybody wants to hold up the trophy and say, man, I did it, but nobody's willing to put in the work that it takes to do it. I love the process. I love the thought of working for what I want. And I firmly believe you're never supposed to wish for it more than you're willing to work for it. But a lot of people, they wish, and they're not willing to work.
A real man in the dark, when nobody's watching, he putting in work. Because he loves the process. Because real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. And some of y'all just want to score. You don't like the process.
Championships aren't won in the theater or the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, in the labs, in the 5 a.m. runs, and the training, whenever else is sleeping. That's when it's won.
I'm here today. I'm an ordinary person, but I focused on my craft. I had burning desire to be excellent. I love what I do. It's my oxygen. It's my DNA. 4 in the morning I get up and I'm working on my craft because I love it.
It's the hidden work. I look at it as like a rock, and the rock is you. And every day you fight, not wanting to get up, and you do anyway. You're chipping a piece off that fucking rock. And every day you go to train, you train harder and harder and harder and harder, and you get up early, and all these things you do to start forming yourself. You're chipping another piece of that rock up. Before you know it, that rock, it becomes the masterpiece in which you've been created.
The heart of a champion is a light switch that's always on. It doesn't go on and off when someone's watching. It's constant. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, and you do it right, the best of your ability every single time. Do the job right or don't do it at all. That's the same person who has his hand raised on the podium one day. Same mother...
It's what I did in the dark that blew me off. It is in practicing. It is in lifting weights. It is in resting. It is in eating right. It is in making good decisions that you look a certain way. It is how you practice. It is what you do that makes you look like you look. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you. When nobody knows what you're doing. When you put in those extra reps. When you're watching those videos and you're getting inspired. When you change your music. It's the process that makes you sweet. I'm talking about the commitment that says, I am going to stay true to what I said I would do long after the mood that I set it in has left. You got to begin with the end in mind. So whatever your dream or your goal is, you got to wake up every day to it. You got to go to bed with it. You got to read stuff. The music you listen to, everything you do, got to pour into that dream. I understand it is in the process that you get better. I am not phenomenally skilled, but I'm phenomenally real. My IQ may never change, but my will changes. Every year I get stronger and stronger and more determined. Why? Because it's in my DNA.
When you dedicate your life, you don't care anything about the odds. When the dream is big enough, the odds don't matter.
Giving you all, it can be confusing to mediocre people.
You keep talking smack and I'll keep working.
You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. Instead of killing with kindness, force with success.
Build the kind of life that says I told you so without having to say a fucking word.
While most people stop when they're tired, I stop when I'm done. The only thing limiting your horizons is you.
You're going to have sometimes low moments when you won't want to get out of bed. You just want to stay there. At times you won't want to come out the house.
You will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you.
And it's in these moments right now that so often we feel like backing down.
What is it?
that will make it worth it for you? To face the rejections. What is it that will make it worth it for you? To brainstorm and not be intimidated and say, I can do this. What is it that will make it worth it for you? To raise the bar on yourself and say, I got some more stuff in me. What is it that will make it for you? When you want to give up, the things that are working against you. What is it that will help you get back up again?
A man's character is not judged after he celebrates a victory but by what he does when his back is against the wall. So no matter how great the setback, how severe the failure, you never give up.
You're going to fail. You're going to make some mistakes. You got to fight. You will have opposition. Things going to happen to you in life. It's called life and it's not personal. Stuff's going to happen.
Sure, you might lose comfort and sleep. Sure, it might be frightening, but so what?
The darker the night, the brighter the morning.
You will fail your way to success. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times people tell you that you can't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a dime in that day.
The thing that's causing you pain today actually has purpose in your life. Every season you can learn. Every season you can grow. Every challenge is developing you.
That which does not kill you will make you stronger.
It's the obstacles in our life. It's the hardships. It's the mountains that we climb that make life worth living. But the mountain's not supposed to stop you. Your mountain has the materials for your miracle.
Your conditions are not always in your control. You don't always get to decide what kind of skies you face. There are some things that are outside of your control, but your courage is in your control.
Take that leap of faith. Trust yourself and know within yourself that everything is going to be all right. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, it's sweet to you. It's good to you. Why? See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. People know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
It doesn't happen in a stadium or on a stage. There are no medals handed out. It happens in the darkness of the early morning, in solitude, where I try, and I try, and I try again. With everything I have to be the best that I can possibly be, better than I was yesterday, better than people thought I could be, better than I thought I could be, and claim one victory that no one can ever take away from me, ever. A victory that is earned every single day. A victory of determination and will and discipline. A victory achieved because I will not stop.
It's the character of who you are. It's not the title that makes you. It's not the success that makes you. The character defines the success, defines the fame, and it starts right there. Championships aren't won in the theater or the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, in the labs, in the 5 a.m. runs, and the training, whenever else is sleeping. That's when it's won. How you hold yourself in the small things of life. Build the character winning blocks of the things that we're remembered for. Do the job right or don't do it at all. That's the same person who has his hand raised on the podium one day. Same motherfuckers. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, and you do it right, the best of your ability every single time.
Some of y'all so caught up on the game that you don't get it. It is in practicing. It is in eating right. It is in making good decisions that you look a certain way. It is how you practice. It is what you do that makes you look like you look. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. It's not the game. And that's why most of y'all get beat in the game or make mistakes in the game, because you think grinding is what happens when the sun comes out. You think grinding is what happens when the lights come on. You think grinding is what happens when people get in the stage. That's not grind. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you, when nobody knows what you're doing. When you studying without coach, when you putting in those extra reps, when you watching those videos and you getting inspired, when you change your music, it's the process that makes you sweet. And the problem with some of y'all is you want somebody else to support your dream. It's yours. If you want to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you want to have it, rise and grind.
We waste so much time on our little gadgets. It's unreal. And we tell that we have no time. We all have time. What you don't have is you didn't prioritize your life correctly. You didn't prioritize yourself. You didn't prioritize that, look, motherfucker, I gotta get up and win this war today against myself.
Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful.
What could you be if you worked as hard as you could? What could you be if you imposed real discipline in your life? I say you crank up the volume on that voice. Crank up the volume on that question. Max it out. And then go do some.
We don't get this again. We don't get this again. The car runs too fast. That's why we got to savor these moments. Because they right now. Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature. Now.
Time's running out on you. Wake up. You want to win? You want to be a millionaire? You got to quit being so casual. You walk slow. You talk slow. You implement things slow. You talk a good game like you're going to be somebody, like you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're going to get your ass kicked, dude. You got to get focused and get in a hurry. If you make that shift, I'm going to win. We're going to play to win now. We're not playing to play. We're not playing to see how we do. We're not playing for fun. Once you start getting some winning, you start changing. You talk different. You walk different. All of a sudden, this isn't the same damn human being. You'd be surprised how good you'd be if you just decide to win. Be number one in your office. Number one in your region.
Every single day of my life, I feel like giving 120. Every single day. Somebody said yesterday, E.T., you gave 120. What you gonna do tomorrow? I said, I don't know. Give 140. I don't know, but I don't have days where I don't feel like it. Why? Because I'm counting on me. My wife's counting on me. I don't have days to waste.
The only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. I will not be outworked, period. You might have more talent than me. You might be smarter than me. You might be all of those things. You got it on me in 9 categories. But if we get on the treadmill together, there's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm gonna die. It's really that simple.
I don't have that natural beauty or that natural talent or this gift for creativity or intellect or humor. I don't have any of those things. But what I got is I will outwork you. When it's 45 on the treadmill, I do 46. When it's supposed to be 20 phone calls, I make 21. When it's supposed to be an 8-hour workday, I work 9.
You have to make a decision that nobody in your position will outwork you. Some people run faster, swim better, but mentality is mentality. It's not going to outwork me, so I'm going to catch up somewhere. If you are not that talented, you can beat them with time. You can get to the spot before they get to the spot. Get your butt up and get there. You got to kill. What's going to separate you from everybody else? I do things that separate myself from everybody else. The passion that I have, the grind that I have when I do what I do. I got a different motor. I got a different grind.
I'm always going to give it my 110%. That's the only thing I can ever say a solid day's work. If you guys do not do that, I promise you, your life will haunt you for the rest of your days.
From today on, you play whatever your best game is, you play that level every single time. It doesn't mean you're going to score every time, but you can always give 120% effort. You can't dictate what kind of game you're going to have. You can't dictate how your body is going to respond to moving around. but you can dictate your efforts. When dream come when you push. And I'm not gonna do no cookies and ice cream. Push. It's alive. It's inside. How do you know you feel it? You dream about it. You eat and sleep it every day. So push. Just push past the fact. Push. Don't quit. Push. And you push your way to success. You have a chance to control your destiny. All of us are created equal. Some of us just work harder. Some of us just grind. Some of us don't make excuses. Some of us don't give up and give in. What we do with the pressure is we say, I gotta take it, and I gotta take it to another level. You get a breakthrough when you fight. That's the hardest part. Because the breakthrough, that last 10% is all mental toughness.
It's time to unwrap the potential you be. It's within you. And the people that have risen to that level were no different than any one of us. It's just they believed it and they're willing to work their keen ass off to get it. It wasn't about their potential. It wasn't about their genetics. It wasn't about their perseverance. And it wasn't about being the hardest worker in the room.
Listen to me, like I'm just letting you know, like life's gonna be rough, and you've been hearing it from your parents, so please don't be upset with me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm echoing their voice, I'm just telling you right now, like life is gonna be rough. It's supposed to be painful, but that's how you grow. It's gonna take time, but what's on the other side, it's always worth it. I've experienced my fair share of pain in my life, just like every other adult in this church today. So I went on to the amazing Oakwood Academy and Oakwood University and got my bachelor's and master's. But when I graduated, I didn't just graduate with degrees. I also graduated with an associate's in abandonment, with a bachelor's of brokenness, with a master's of misery, a PhD of pain. I want everything I'm supposed to get. So some of you right now, you got dreams and aspirations. Those things will come true. Some of you sitting in front of me right now, you're not really sure what you want to do or where you're going to go in life. Let me tell you something. You work on being the absolute best version you can be of yourself, and everything else is going to fall into place. So now I see myself traveling. I've been to South Africa about 6-7 times the past 3 years. I've been to Australia 3-4 times the past 3 years. Like India, I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. Come on, y'all. I got kicked out of this school. I went to another school and failed over and over again. Drug and alcohol abuse, but my condition was not my conclusion. Where you are right now is just the beginning. And there was so much more that you have and experience. There was so much more that you're supposed to have. Everything that you attain to have, you can have it. But all you got to do is stand up and say, I want success. Stand up and say, I want value. Stand up and say, I want to have an impact. And be everything that this school and my family has prepared me to be. But more importantly, be everything that I've been created and called to be. And when you do that, my young friends, I will see you at the top. God bless you all.
Every champion has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit.
See, in your life, everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you can go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. No way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up no matter what.
Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You may not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much. But don't you quit.
A person's character is not judged when they ride the wave of success, when everyone chants their name and you want to be their friend. No, your character is put to the test when your back is against the wall.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do in these days of darkness? What you gonna create? You gonna sit there and whine and cry, or you gonna use the creative powers, the creative juice your God gave you? Don't expect people to understand you. Don't expect it to make sense to anybody why you got to do this, why you have got to go, why you live. This is a good job. I'm going. They pay you well. I'm going. Why? I don't understand. You don't have to. I'm going for me. because I've made a different kind of commitment with my life. This is something I have got to do.
It's not what they say about you that matters. It is what you say about you that threatens your destiny. You will never be defeated by what they say about you. You will be defeated by what you say about you. Before life is over, you got to go through everything. You got to speak to yourself. You got to stand up or life will tear you down. You got to make up in your mind. It's tougher than I thought it was going to be, and it hurts more than I expected, but I'm going to keep on hopping till I cross the line.
This is what you do. You are built for this. You would just believe that your day coming, that the sacrifices you are making today, they're going to pay off. But if you do not believe, it ain't going to happen.
Life is one big tug of war, and you don't win that tug of war by pushing the rope. You have to pull that motherfucker. And a lot of times you have to pull yourself through life, pull yourself out of bed, pull yourself out of a funk, pull yourself out of whatever life is throwing at you to gain that confidence. Everybody's got a fucking plan so they hit your mouth. So when your plan fails, when you get knocked down the canvas, when everything falls apart in your life, and your plan is fucked up, what the fuck are you gonna do? There's only one motherfucking option. Stay fucking hard.
When you get inspired, realize that person is made up of the same whatever it is as you. And the only difference is that person is the one who's thought just that little harder. If we were all only made up of atoms, then why don't you become the stronger energy, the superior one? Can't you see we live off each other, and it's the people that shine brightly who affect us positively? Stop waiting for others to do it first and break through, and go do it yourself. Look at the 4-minute mile. People thought it impossible, and now every day people can achieve it.
To want and to be ambitious and to want to be successful is not enough. That's just desire. To know what you want, to understand why you're doing it, to dedicate every breath in your body to achieve.
Life's just game of inches. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. In any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch.
It is not easy, but I'm not about to quit. I'm not about to give up. And I'll do whatever it takes to maintain this. But you've got to work on yourself. You've got to develop yourself. You've got to talk to yourself day in and day out, selling yourself on you and on your potentials.
I'm coming out head first. I'm going to get my head out. I'm going to get my thinking out. I'm going to get my mentality out. As soon as you decide to stop looking for answers in other people and miracles somewhere down the yellow brick road and click the heel of your mind, you could have been free years ago.
People have this reoccurring nightmare that there's some force that's got a hold of them and it's holding them down and they can't break free. No matter what they do, they can't break free from that force.
There are two fundamental attitudes toward life and its sorrows. Those with the first attitude blame the world. Those with the second ask what they could do differently. It's much easier and much more gratifying to your basest desires to blame someone else for your misery.
You know what's so funny? We want people to make guarantees to us, but we're not willing to make guarantees to ourselves. That's the problem with some of you. You always want to blame other people. You owe you an explanation. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? You need to put yourself on punishment. You need to tell you no more TV, no more snacks, no more desserts. No, we're working out now. You need to tell you that you owe you something. Every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could humanly expect. I'm not competing with somebody else. I'm competing with what I'm capable of. My number one competition is me. It's always you versus you. You gotta be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work, because that gains success. No coach, no trainer, no mentor, no boss can do it. You versus you. I value myself enough to give 120%, or don't do it. There is no excuse for not living up to the fullest potential. No excuse.
You walk out of this room, you owe yourself. I didn't get here making excuses. What changed? I changed. And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press forward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day to become a victor and not a victim. Why? Because I owe it to myself. Can't nobody stop me but me.
The single most determining factor of the quality of your life is predicated upon your mindset.
The easiest thing I do every year, ladies and gentlemen, is earn millions of dollars. That's the easy part. Speaking to corporations, that was easy to do. Let me tell you what it took me years to do, was to believe that I could do it. That's the biggest thing that you will have to overcome. I would go see these various speakers, and I would sit back and watch them, and I would start going to the car, be fired up. I said, I could do that. My mind then would say, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. Les Brown, you can't do that. You've never worked for a major corporation. Les Brown, you can't do that. You've never had any experience doing things like this before. You don't know the right people. You don't have the complexion of connection. Why would someone hire you? Why would someone hire you to teach them and to motivate them to do something that you have never done?
If you spend 30 minutes thinking about the fact you can't do something, I need you to spend an hour dreaming about the fact that you can.
What's the worst thing that can happen if I decide to take a chance on me? People laugh at me, I lose all my money, so I can come back again. See, my wealth is not determined based upon what I have. My wealth is determined based upon who I am.
That's why I want you to increase your goals dramatically. And I don't want you to ask yourself how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. There's a reason we're told to walk by faith and not by sight. The reason we're told to call forth those things that be not as though they were. You have power in you that you don't even know.
You want to develop an ongoing strategy, a plan of action of self-empowerment. So you've got to listen to music and speeches that can uplift you. Read books to strengthen your thoughts. Watch movies that fire you up, because you're going to constantly have low moments where you won't want to keep going. You'll want to just fall apart. So you've got to control what you let in your mind and reprogram it with positivity. If you don't program your mind, life will program you. But you want to go to the other end of the spectrum. You want to know some way, somehow, things are going to get better. How? I don't know, and I don't have to know. I just have to have faith and believe that everything's going to be all right. All I need to do is to know it, to expect it, and to keep on doing what I can, where I am, with what I've got right now.
Start planning and preparing for what it is that you want, because you expect to get it. If you want to come out here and reach your goals and make your dreams come true, you don't want to do it by dragging and doing it casually. No, you want to begin to put out more energy and more effort than ever before. You've got to become unstoppable, because there will be many things to turn you around. You've got to think constantly on why you're doing it. What are the rewards? What's there for you across the goal line? What are the things that'll make it worth it for you?
My life is worthwhile. Doesn't matter what I've experienced. Doesn't matter about what I don't have. Doesn't matter about what I've gone through. What's important is that where I am right now, that I live life and I experience my life fully. And you owe it to yourself. So when you get up in the morning, that you can look yourself in the face and say, hey, I'm living my life on my terms.
What do you do when something shows up on your doorstep that you did not directly cause, choose, or definitely anticipate?
Life is not always easy. In fact, some of you today, you're here and you're going through the toughest season of your life. There will be seasons where we will suffer. There will be seasons of real pain. And the question is, how will you respond in those moments?
Life is hard sometimes. Easy, it's not an option. But it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth giving yourself a chance. It's worth mustering yourself up, standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up. It's worth it. You can do it. You
You can do it.
There's problems that we go through that cause stress, worry, anxiety, and fear, but you might be in the battle of your life. I want to encourage you. It's not about what's happening around you. It's always about what's happening inside of you.
Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you have to be afraid. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean you have to be discouraged.
The sentence out of your mouth is a story that you are putting out. I'm not gonna make it. I quit. Let's get a divorce. This is never coming back. We've lost too many people. I've made too many mistakes. I'm a failure. Nobody can help me. I've done too many bad things. I don't know what's coming out of your mouth, but it's a death sentence.
And as you continue to confess it, as you continue to declare it, well, don't be surprised when it becomes true in your life. We have to make sure that whenever I feel, when I think a death sentence, I must speak a life sentence.
Oh, I'm feeling the sentence of death. I'm feeling the thoughts of anxiety. I'm feeling the thoughts that I'm done. I feel like I've been used and it hurts and it's difficult, but when that happens, I start speaking out a life sentence. No, I'm just going to keep showing up. No, I'm going to get back up. The righteous man, he falls 7 times, but he gets back up.
Never give up. Never give in. Because skill can't get you past certain things. Quickness, agility can't get you past mental toughness.
Come on, you need to remember, this is not the first time you cried. This is not the first time you were short of breath. This is not the first time you didn't see a way clear. This is not the first time you were hurt. This is not the first time your heart was broken. This is not the first time you didn't have enough money. This is not the first diagnosis that came up from behind.
You're going to work through this. You're going to get up. You're going to get dressed. You're going to get out. And you're going to do what you've been called to do. You're going to be what you're called to do. And you're going to prove that everybody that tried to break you, everybody that tried to stop you, everybody that tried to kill your dream, you're going to prove all of them wrong.
Just keep coming back. If you got nothing left to give, just show back up. Half of life, man, is just showing up.
And I'm telling you right now, don't give up. I'm telling you right now, don't give in. Don't look for any gains where there's been no sacrifice. Don't wake up and look for no gain. Don't look for your game to improve. Don't look for the record to improve. Without sacrifice, there are no gains. You can't make millions of dollars if you don't make millions sacrifice. You're going to need to cut some fat if you want life to change. If you want to show me you want to win that bad, pack your calendar. Because everything is based off of activity. Very few people want to show their calendar. Because if they did, you would realize who really wants to win that and who doesn't. It's mathematically impossible for you not to win at the highest level if your calendar is packed from day till night, every single day, the entire year, day after day after day after day after day, without you winning. Some of y'all are so caught up on the game that you don't get it. It is in practicing. It is in eating right. It is in making good decisions that you look a certain way. It is how you practice. It is what you do that makes you look like you look. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. It's not the game. And that's why most of y'all get beat in the game or make mistakes in the game, because you think grinding is what happens when the sun comes out. You think grinding is what happens when the lights come on. You think grinding is what happens when people get in the stage. That's not grind. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you, when nobody knows what you're doing, when you studying without coach, when you putting in those extra reps, when you watching those videos and you getting inspired, when you change your music. It's the process that makes you sweet. Champions are focused on the goal. They don't have time to be doing stuff that's not going to help them toward the goal. So all the little stuff you talking about, all the little social media, cut it off. Cut it off. Do what you're supposed to do. You ain't no boy no more. Get off social media. It's killing you. Get off of it. Stop Netflix. Who you watching? Watch you. Cut the TV off. It's going to be there. You got a job to do. That's what you're getting paid for. Have some pride. Cut off the TV, son. Cut that doggone football game off. It ain't doing nothing for you. They making millions, you not. More stuff comes to you when you execute, son. And the problem with some of y'all is you want somebody else to support your dream. It's yours. I don't know you will die. It's your dream. If you want it to happen, get your butt up and make it happen. You know how many times
sometimes people say things like, close your eyes, visualize with me. It's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. What does your house look like? What does your car look like? Imagine having a house with a swimming pool and it's a 4-story, you got an elevator, you got this view, okay, that's great. But how about we do it in a different way? Close your eyes, go 20 years from now, and you don't do nothing. You stay the same as you are today. How many divorces you got? What happened to your family? How about the people that said you're going to quit and they say, I told you so? Every single time you have to appease to their opinion becoming factual because you gave up on your dreams. Say, that's the real exercise. And if you're okay with that, keep living life the way you're living.
You don't have to work hard, you don't have to eat right, you don't have to sleep right. You don't have to do more than what's required of you. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But you also don't have to win. You don't have to be a success in life. And that's why so few people achieve great things. Because they don't want to sacrifice, they don't want to discipline for something greater. So you see all these people that have great things in life that you look up to, it's because they were sacrificed and disciplined long before you ever knew them. You gotta get tired of losing.
I can't relate to lazy people. We don't speak the same language. I don't understand you and I don't want to understand you. It's the fourth quarter. Once this year's over, you can't go back and add nothing to it. What kind of competitor sees the finish line and slows down? Hear what I'm trying to tell you? Close. Why? Because the world treats you different when you close. The world treats you different when you can finish, where much is given, much is required, but you don't get the rewards. Rewards come after you work, not before. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary.
You look for excuses. Look for solutions. That's what winners do. Losers are always looking for the excuse. Where a winner looks for a solution, man. Or for the energy into the dreams that can be. The reason why you're doing that, if you are, you're not working hard enough, you're not studying hard enough, you're not going to midnight oil every night, which prevents you from staying awake in the midnight hours later in life wondering what it could have been. You erase that through all of this agreement, guys. It's free. You don't need to shoot up for it, you don't need to snort, you sweat for it.